Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're finishing up our rankings episode this week of wide receivers. We're going about wide receivers 21 through about 40-ish today. Maybe we'll throw some other names out there that I think maybe we've gone to 45. So we'll go over all that in just a second. Before we do that, go make sure you guys go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet. Follow us there. Follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/fantasyfootballprophet. We have posts there, every couple of days, different rankings, different sleepers, deep sleepers, rookie sleepers. I have all kinds of random stuff going out on there. Check that out. And make sure you definitely go subscribe to us on YouTube as well, youtube.com/fantasyfootballprophet. So we're going to jump right in to the next ranks here, Jeff. 21, starting at 21 wide receivers. So 21 was Robert Woods. Robert Woods is one that people had some things to say about as well. So I ranked him 15th. You ranked him 24th because you are a Robert Woods hater. Is that correct? Is that a term you would be okay with labeling yourself with?
I would have to embrace that one because I'm going to be way lower than most people on Robert Woods.
You have been, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely have been.
And so let's see here. There was a couple Robert Woods comments, nothing too crazy. One just said Robert Woods was too low. So, okay. Yeah. Nothing too nuts. Well, this one actually said thought that was crazy that Robert Woods was ahead of Keenan Allen in the ranks, which we'll get to that name in a minute as well. Nothing too much there. So why do you hate Robert Woods though? Why do you hate him so much?
I don't know. I have no idea. I like Cooper Kupp better on the team. There's a lot of good reasons you could lean into of why he's going to do better than he did last year. He finished 22nd. I'm putting him there. But he's going to do what he did last year. He didn't get a lot of touchdowns. He could amp that up, but he got good yardage the last 2 years. I mean, he went for 1,200 yards and then 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. He's never been a huge touchdown guy, but Brandon Cooks is no longer there. He should get, I don't know if he can really increase it. He had 139 targets last year. Seems like quite a bit. So am I a little bit low on him? Yeah. I guess I would grab him if I'm really needing just a solid number 2 that I don't have to worry about, but I don't see a lot of upside with him. But I do. I don't know why I always discount him in my head, but he's the other one that if you watch wide receiver number 1, there's other guys that I just like more than him. And that's what it comes down to, really.
So, okay. I mean, I don't know. I've moved him up ahead of Cooper Kupp for some reason. I've come around a little bit.
I get that. So you're buying, and it has been a good argument of okay, they went with more of a tight end, 2 tight end sets. They got it to Higbee a lot more. Because of that, Robert Woods was freed up on the outside. He did pretty well. He went for 1,100 yards when their offense was struggling. That is going to continue without Gurley and without Brandon Cooks. I can kind of buy into that, but I also like watching the past couple years. I think Robert Woods is a good wide receiver, but I've always liked Cooper Kupp better. And I think that he used to be the touchdown maker. Will that change because of, McVay's kind of changing offense to make sure that, whatever they do is actually working now, that they don't have Gurley with Higbee and possibly Everett? It very well could be. But I do think that's a lot of assuming.
So, okay, that's Woods. Let's go to number 22, AJ Green. So this is one that you are high on. You had him 16th, I had him 27th. And I could see my rank going actually higher on AJ. So we have, this is the offseason of very little talk, right? We don't hear anything. But we actually did get some good news about AJ Green, like a nice little good news. Take anything you say right now, it just coming from the team. Said AJ Green looks like his old self. His teammates were raving about his explosiveness and all that good stuff, which is awesome to hear. You love hearing it. I mean, no one's going to talk bad about the guy. They're not going to say anything. But it's nice to hear something good.
Well, they don't have to say anything at all either, right?
And you know what? This could be a spot where he's really low in the ranks, and we could maybe we're gonna get a really good player here yet for a very low price.
Yeah, and that's why I have a little bit of an aggressive view on him. I'm grabbing him in a lot of different places, but you can get him so late that I feel like there's no risk. And
There's little.
And I personally like the fact that he sat out all last year, because he was starting to get a little hobbled. Like every year, he would find something, and it was usually, I believe it was like with his foot and then his ankle, and then he needed surgery all of a sudden. I'm glad they held him out the entire year. You can finally like rest up, and when he plays a full season, he's a top 10 guy. I mean, that when he's played a full season, and once again, this is 16 games, he was 4th, 5th, 8th, and 10th. And 10th was only 2017, so a couple of years ago. So I think the fact they held him out, and now you have hopefully Burrow and a couple of other people around him, so he will be the number one. He'll draw the toughest defense. But we've seen him handle this before. So if he is his old self, I'm getting a huge discount on a guy that is going to be, my number one or a very good number two. So that is why I love him so much, and I'm willing to take the risk. And I do have him higher than other people, but I'm going a little more aggressive on him.
Yeah, and I like getting him. I think it's a pretty good value for a guy who could still be a top receiver like he once was. We don't know that's for sure gone. I don't think it's gone. I think he still has something left in him. So, all right, 23. It was DJ Chark. We both actually had him 22, just the way the ranks fall. He drops 23. We had only the comment about Chark was that he was too low, somebody said. Which, I don't know if that's too low. I think I do have some hesitation because I'm just not sure what that offense is. And Minshew, while was exciting in a way last year, is he that good? How good is he? I don't know if he's... I just don't know. I don't know that offense yet. There's a lot of question marks. But I think he's a really good player. And because of that, I think this is a good rank for him. I don't think we're too low on him. I think we're pretty I think we're pretty right on. I think this is about a good
I like
spot
his
for him.
upside.
I'm not I think this is a good spot. So 24 was Terry McLaurin. I had him 21, you had him 28. So you're a little lower than I am. I like the talent. I worry about the quarterback.
Okay.
And I worry about
Thank you.
That's the thing. That is the hesitation.
Then I'll take your point 100%. Then I really like him as a player.
Yeah.
But Haskins, he has not shown me enough.
He
to
didn't
make him
show
worthwhile.
really anything.
No.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have to adjust just based on this team and this offense, which is, what is it? What is this offense? Which, this would be the time. I didn't say anything last episode. I haven't said anything yet, but I was trying to avoid the Darius Geis thing, but he is no longer in the team.
Yeah, it's brutal. He did something bad. He got kicked off. It was a good thing by Washington to actually stick to their guns and say, hey, we're going to have high-quality people here. It does suck. We might never find out if he was as good as you thought he was.
He was that good.
I can't argue with you now.
He was that good, but he's a bad person. So there's a reason why he fell in the draft now. I think we know why. I think there was some question marks out there. And yeah, just a bad guy.
It's too bad. It does, not to get off topic with wide receivers though, but it does open the door for other guys that we do like.
Antonio Gibson,
yes.
Which maybe,
and
speaking
also,
of receivers, he could be a receiver too.
He could be a receiver as well. But also, my guy that...
Bryce Love.
No, it's coming back.
No. It's just going to be Adrian Peterson. It's going to be Adrian Peterson with 300 carries. That's what's going to happen. So, but yeah, McLaurin, there is the hesitation because of the offense. What is that team going to be? So I see that. All right, let's get to 25. Keenan Allen. We both had him 25. We didn't talk about this. We both had him 25, and yet everyone hates us. Everyone hates us for our Keenan Allen rank, and that was. It started off right away. The second I posted it, it's like Keenan Allen 25 ? Quit playing with Keenan. This is awful. Keenan at 25. LOL. Put the pipe down. Let me see. What else do we got here? Somebody said, LOL. AJ Brown over Keenan Allen. Well, yeah, actually, I'm good with that. Robert Woods over Keenan. Yeah, said that. It's Keenan Allen getting no respect. The disrespect for Keenan Allen. LMAO. This list was a joke. Oh man, why has Keenan Allen fallen so far? Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. So we and I have talked about this before. I love Keenan Allen. I really did. This one pained me to drop him so low, and I did this early on. But the truth is, as soon as Rivers left, and you look at what kind of production he had, Same reason I kind of worry about Edelman a little bit. But you're going to have a completely different type of offense. You have Tyrod Taylor coming, and if it's not him, it's going to be a rookie. And Keenan Allen, the past 3 years, if you just look at targets alone, 159, 136, 149, catching 102 balls, 97 and 104. So he usually, the last 2 years, he got about 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, it was almost exact. And when you put up those numbers, which are, pretty good, he was 14th and 11th. I cannot imagine a world where Tyrod Taylor is going to throw the ball nearly as much as Rivers did. And you're not going to be able to get him 150 targets. So right off the gate, I think I'm downgrading him a bit. He's also not the deep guy, right?
Yeah.
He's only had 6 touchdowns the last 3 years. If that even fell back down to 4 or something, I wouldn't be shocked. The truth is he is still a good wide receiver. He's 28. He's still in his prime. But you're going to turn into an offense that doesn't need you near as much.
I don't know how good. I don't think this team's going to be good. I don't think Tyrod's going to be good. And even if Tyrod's not the guy, I mean, Justin Herbert, what is he? I don't know if he's that good.
We have no idea.
I don't think he'll be great year one.
No. You also have Austin Eckler, who, if Tyrod Taylor is throwing short, which he does throw, he's relatively accurate. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but he doesn't throw as much as Rivers did. He runs more. You can use Eckler. He can soak up it. And then you have Mike Williams, who didn't live up to the hype quite yet, but he has turned into a very good deep threat. So, and Hunter Henry too, which is finally healthy. Last year, kind of showed it. So you're kind of getting squeezed with who will Tyrod, look to? Will he still get, a lot of catches? Yeah, but would this be the first year that he doesn't get anywhere near 100? That's my guess.
People got to remember, we're not doing just straight up, we're not doing PPR ranks here. 104 catches. Yeah, in PPR, maybe we're thinking a little more of them, but PPR sucks.
Yeah, and also, he's not going to get 104, and that's the reason why.
It's not PPR.
Like you could lose 30 points in PPR alone. He could drop all the way to 70 catches. Yep. That would not be that crazy.
But either way, we're not ranking in PPR because PPR is not my preferred method of scoring. I'll say that. Don't need to go on another PPR rant. PPR, man. I'm in another league right now, and they're deciding what scoring system to use, and people are like PPR, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't win. I can't even. I just said let's go half. Let's meet in the middle.
Yeah, I'm okay with half now.
I guess I
don't like it.
I go with it. It's in our relegation leagues because it's just the middle ground.
I'd much prefer standard and auction.
You absolutely should not get a full point for a 0-yard catch. You should not get 0.1 points for a -9-yard catch. -9 yards. Let's see you -9 yards, but it's a catch. So you get 0.1. 0.1. You get the same amount of points for a -9-yard catch as you would for a running back running the ball right up the gut on 4th and 1 for 1 yard and getting a first down. That means something. That -9-yard catch didn't do anything for you. It lost you 9 yards. It hurt you. The 1-yard run helped you. Think about that when you PPR people are saying, oh, PPR, you guys are playing the dinosaur scoring system of standard. Okay, I'm a dinosaur. I'm sorry. I'm old school. I played in touchdown-only leagues back when I was like 8 years old in the mid-90s. So that's the dinosaur scoring method. So, freaking PPR gets me every time, Jeff. It just happened. It just happened in a chat I was in the scoring system. It just irked me. I didn't even say anything. I just said, go with half. I'll vote for half. I'm not even okay with that. Because in a -4-yard catch, it gets you 0.1 points. What the heck is that? How is that even okay? Think about this. How is it okay? What's that do for you? What's that do for you? It's like in basketball, you give somebody, like you played fantasy basketball. Let's just give them a point for a shot. It doesn't have to go in. Just you take a shot. There you go. Point. You get a point for that shot. What? Stupid. It's just stupid. Okay. It's just stupid.
Quality rant.
It's not okay.
No, I feel like we end up doing that every year. Like we have this conversation, but it falls on deaf ears most of the time.
It's dinosaur. You guys are back in the 90s.
I just don't understand. The thinking behind it is what blows my mind. If there is a reason, but I think you put it very, very well.
It's stupid.
Very, very
That's the
succinctly.
reason. It's stupid.
It should reference something to help your team do something, right?
Yeah. I'm going to
It'd be like, or you could, start getting points for targets or something. Like, why?
Yeah, let's give quarterbacks 5 points per completion.
Or why wouldn't you?
Stupid.
Yeah, why wouldn't you give running backs
Why is
each time you rush?
Why is that quarterback not get a point per completion?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just don't.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? Keenan Allen. Okay, we're done with him. Devontae Parker, 26. We both had him 26.
We have no idea.
He was good. He was good at the end of last year. You know what happened with Parker, though? The hype fell off. It did. Remember early on, he was way too highly ranked, 10, 15. Now he's back. We have him 26, and actually, he's 25th in consensus, and he's 26th in ADP. We're right on target with Devontae Parker. And he needs to show me something more than what he did at the end of last year. Yeah, that was great, but that was one half of one season. So, and what, now we got his contract? Is he still going to play the same? We'll see. I need to see more. This is a complete classic show me more before I believe in you kind of situation for Devontae Parker. 27 was T.Y. Hilton. I had him 29. You had him 23. You need to stay healthy. That's a big deal.
I can actually understand your ranking pretty well. I worry about T.Y. because I worry about Rivers' arm. I don't know what that is going to look like.
You don't think he can shot put it to him all day?
No. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he can shot put it down the field. It does. It's a very strange throw. I worry about that, and with the speed, the only thing I can think is the offensive line is so good that they'll get plenty of opportunities to do play action, or he'll have more time than he did last year. But it does worry me. T.Y. is too good for me to drop too low, though. That's kind of what it comes down to.
He could be a good value. I can see the value now as a
all comes down to Rivers. Don't know with aging quarterback.
Tyler Lockett came in 28th. I had him 24th. You had him 29th. We actually did get a couple of Lockett comments, not too much, but people were saying we're low on him again.
Yeah, I mentioned this when we were talking about DK, though. Yep. It's a tough one. I'm starting to look at I don't look at Lockett as a number one. I think they're very specific, wide receivers, and they do different things. But Lockett he has outproduced what I really thought he was going to the past 2 years, right? He was 11th and 15th last year. So in that respect, I probably am overlooking him a bit. I'll be honest. I don't know. I see DK growing, and what does that mean for Lockett? Maybe nothing. Maybe he returns to a top 20.
Carl wrote, why is everyone always so low on Lockett? He's been great every year and always ends up about 10 spots higher than his ADP. You know what, Carl? I'm not going to say you're wrong.
No, but when you say every year,
I'm not saying
the last 2 years.
And I'm not saying great. I don't think he's great. That's not 15 and 11 or whatever. That's not great. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, I would say very good. We'll go very good. You get top 10 now, you get great.
Okay. And I get that. He has that. We underrate him slightly. I can see it. And it's just, and DK plays into that for me. And I just feel like, I guess maybe the consistency hasn't always been there either, where I just don't love it. But yeah, it's just, I don't like getting Tyler Lockett on my team. That's how I feel when I'm in a draft. I don't love that pick ever. I think you probably feel the same.
I do. Yeah.
So, all right, 29, we went with Brandon Cooks. So Cooks, I had him 30th, you had him 27th. So Cooks is, let's see here. He is 38th currently in both consensus and ADP. So we're a little higher on him, but I think he's going to be the number one with Deshaun Watson. And if he's healthy, he can be really good. He's been really good. Last year, he got the concussion and was never the same. He really didn't miss much. He missed, 2 games? He played most of the season, but he was not the same. And that offense suffered anyway. The offense was just whatever. Before that, though, he had always gotten over 100 targets, 110, 120, 130 almost. Been very consistent, productive, and they need him to be their number one. I mean, I think he needs to be their number one over Fuller. Fuller, he's a lot more of an injury concern than Cooks is even.
Yeah.
So I think Cooks, if he can stay healthy, he's going to have a pretty good season. And I think we get a good value on him, especially if at 38, we have him higher. But if he's going 38, we're getting him as our fourth.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys as we go through them, and I think AJ Green is one of them that you get a huge discount on. And I think this guy would be the next one.
You picked him in the relegation, didn't you?
I did. I picked both of them. And it shows, you're not going to get as high as marks through, Fantasy Pros. But I really do think this is a calculated risk. So Craig hit on it, but, he had all those targets, which I think he can reproduce those numbers. I think that the position is open without Hopkins, that you can get that type of, production, those type of numbers throwing your way with Watson, who is a very good quarterback. If the concussions are past him, if he can stay healthy. You saw it with multiple different teams too. It just wasn't one team and he worked really well in their scheme. remember, he did this on the Saints, he did this in New England, and he also did this on the Rams. And it was 3 years in a row. And I'm going to read off 4. The first 2 were with the Rams, though. Were with the Saints. But he was 12th, 8th, 7th, and then 13th.
Yep.
He's 1 year removed from having a bad year. And that was, once again, because of concussion. So, and a bad Rams team. Like, just a disjointed
it didn't work.
Offensive, attempt. So I think people are really, really sleeping on Brandon Cooks.
I think so too. I'm completely on board with that. All right, and then 30 was Jarvis Landry. Item 28, you had 31. Very boring for us, but it's kind of like the Lockett syndrome. Like, he does do better than we rank him. Landry probably will do better than this, right? Most likely, I bet he finishes higher than this.
He will, and I know people are correct if they're like, you're sleeping on him.
Yeah,
I get it, but you can't rank everyone perfectly, right?
Yep.
And just to show too, positional rank, he always does pretty well. He was starting in 2015, the second year in the league, 15th, 18th, 14th, 22nd, and then 14th last year,
finish,
even with OBJ.
He's going to finish better than that rank. I'm sure he will. I just still want those guys ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm the same as you.
And then 31 is Fuller, just touchdown with Cooks. It's the same thing. Fuller could be the number 1 there, but he has never been able to stay healthy, ever.
If he could, though.
He could. This could be a steal. If he's healthy, and now there's no Hopkins, this is a player that could be a huge pickup for you. This really could. I don't love picking him, though. This, but I can see the potential here. I can see how it could work out. I just don't trust it.
I'm not going to lie. I have gotten burnt by him multiple times because you can get him really late. And I'm always like, okay, well, he'd be great for a few games. And that's wonderful. If you can get him very late, I would pick him up because he's usable, especially in bye weeks, right? That's great. But look at the past history. I mean, starting in 2016 when he was a rookie, he missed 3 games, then he missed 6 games, then he missed half of a year, then he missed 5 games last year.
It's so tough.
Yeah, he just cannot stay healthy, and it's too bad because he is a very talented guy.
And it could all go right, and we have him, way too low. It's very well could happen. 32 was Marvin Jones. Item 34, you had him 38. Just it worked out that way. He jumped up to 32 because you'll see we have some that we end up changing on here, but. I think he was slightly underrated. I think he's going to have pretty decent numbers with Stafford there, I believe. I really can see some good numbers. And let's see here. Consensus-wise, he's moved up, actually. He's moved up to 34 in consensus ranks, and he's looks like he's 39th in ADP, so he's still lower because he was in the 40s at one point. So the market has come around on Jones.
I think that's about right. He had 9 touchdowns last year. Who knows if he's going to reproduce that? But 800 and 7 seems like quite possible with that offense.
Michael Gallup's 33rd. I had him 31. You had him 41. So we're different on this, but it's just I think you're more concerned about Lamb, right?
Yeah,
and I can see it, but
I really liked Gallup last year, but I'm kind of worried of that whole scheme. I don't know how it's going to play out, and with once again not knowing a whole lot, is like CeeDee Lamb could come out and surprise everyone. He's that talented.
He could be very well.
Like what if he's the guy the go-to guy, the guy that demands the ball, because Amari is really not that guy. Yep. And then Gallup could easily fall to the wayside.
34 was Tyler Boyd. Item 32, you did 40. We talked about him on the players we haven't talked about episode a couple weeks ago, where maybe we're underrating him, but some people, on last episode, somebody made the Boyd over Beckham comment, which I'm not there. Maybe we're underrating him. I can give you that, but I think I think that 90 catches, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. I honestly think that's Tyler Boyd's peak. I think that's his top level, and I don't think it's going to get better than that. And that was without AJ, and I think AJ is just going to take away from that a little bit. So
yes, without a lot of stuff. And he last year he only ranked 25th.
Yep.
So maybe I'm a little downgrading him if I have him all the way up at 40, but. Look, I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of upside with him with all those pieces coming back or being drafted.
Emmanuel Sanders finds himself at 35 for us. I had him 38. You had him 37. Moves up to 35. He's with the Saints now. That's where this is interesting. How is this going to play out? Michael Thomas obviously is going to get all the catches. Does this team really support a second pass catcher? I'm not sure.
They have before, but they don't need to.
Yeah. But it could really work out. He was actually a pretty decent player last year, which was almost surprising coming off the injury he came off of and being 33 years old. I was surprised.
Yes, and playing for two teams that don't necessarily throw the ball all that much. It was Denver when they had Flacco, and it was San Francisco who run the crap out of it.
He played well, so we'll see. It's obviously new team, 33-year-old wide receiver. serious injury recent yet. Not sure how it plays out, but it could be it's just one that I don't like to rank too much high. I don't know if I love getting. And I don't know. It's a tough spot.
This one has to be really late.
I like some of the rookies and getting some potential sometimes. So 36 is Edelman. So item 36, item 39. No comments about him at all, I was kind of surprised. I was waiting for those because he has been better than this, obviously, in the year-end numbers. But no Brady. How is it going to work with Cam? We just don't know how they're going to use him, and I'm just going to stay away from him because I never. You know what the thing is? Even with Brady, even before his other years, I never got him anyway. I always kind of stayed away as it was. So it's not going to change this year for me.
Same.
Not Christian. That's the next one. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, 37. Item 33, item 42. He showed flashes.
Yeah, him. It's so hard because they run the ball so darn much.
They do. I don't know how much more they're really going to pass it. He is their number one. No, maybe not. I think Andrews might be their true number one.
Mark Andrews is kind of their number one, receiving player. Marquise Brown, can he repeat the? And I think I kind of go back and forth. Can he repeat the amazing touchdown rate that he had with that speed and that offense? Yeah, he could. But you have to throw it to him a lot more. And the way they run that ball, I just don't see it.
That's the hesitation. They're just not going to go away from it.
And also, I have a very hard time. Someone that is that spotty, that is going to be game to game, I have no idea. I have a hard time putting him on my bench and kind of like, when do I play him? So that is also plays into it. It's like, it's a very dangerous player to have because you always want to play with him, but you're playing with fire.
Christian Kirk comes in 38. You had him 36, item 43. It's funny because it's almost like, we're still ranking Christian Kirk here. But the thing is, he's only going into year 3. And he increased last year to 68 catches from 43 the year before. That's in 13 games. He played 12 the year before. Yards went up. Yards per catch went down a little bit. Touchdowns were still 3. So maybe he's still just improving. Maybe having a Hopkins there will help him. I don't know how it plays out. I don't know. I still think this guy has some talent.
Yeah.
I know you're a Kirk guy yet.
He's intriguing. I'm not over the moon on his possibility. It really all depends on Fitzgerald's role in the offense.
Yeah,
but he could be left alone completely on the field.
Yep.
And with that offense, you can really spread the ball around quickly. So he might get some easy touchdowns.
Debo came in 39. You had him 34. Item 49. It's just the injury. That's it right now for me.
Even then, I love if there was someone behind him, because right now, what is it, Ayuk?
Yeah.
Like, that's all. So as soon as he comes back, he's back, and he's number one. So because of that, I
like
think
picking him up.
Yeah, I pick him up, and that's why I have him a little higher than you, because I feel like if you pick him up there, you have a future, even if it's a wide receiver 3, a very upside wide receiver 3 on on a team that desperately needs him. So I think it's kind of a sneaky play, but that's why I ranked him there.
And we have some differences here. So we were 15 spots different on Debo. We're 13 spots different on this next guy, Jerry Jeudy, who comes in 40, item 48. You had him 35. You just like the rook. I mean, it's just
you're unsure of Locke.
Yeah.
So you downgraded Sutton too.
I downloaded Sutton too.
Yeah. So that is why and I could be wrong on him because rookies don't hit all that often. And Locke is a second-year guy, so I get there's a lot of danger here.
But I get it. This is why not get these kind of guys in your team at this spot and hope they break out.
And God, he is. I really believe he is such a talented guy that I think he has all the skills to be good in the NFL right away.
41 is Justin Jefferson. People might see this and be like, a little high. I had him 51. You had him 32nd. We had 19 spot difference here. So Jefferson, let's see here. Let me pull up Jefferson. So Jefferson is currently. So guess what, Jeff? I was high on Jefferson compared to consensus and ADP. I was high.
You were?
I was high. So he is 55th in consensus, 54th in ADP. Jeff, you are going to get Justin Jefferson on every one of your teams.
Yeah, I will. And I don't. Okay, this is the crazy part. Where do I have him currently?
You have him 32.
32. Okay, that might be a little bit aggressive, but at the same time, I will defend that because right now he does go into the best spot of any rookie. And truly, unless CeeDee Lamb really breaks out or unless Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson will be the best rookie in this class for his rookie year because he goes to a Minnesota team that, yes, they do run the ball a lot, but you have Thielen on one side, so you're going to be distinctly number 2. We've already seen him play with Burrow, an NFL, quarterback. You've seen what he can do in big games. He catches a lot of touchdowns. He can do it all. And on top of that, he's taking over a position for Stephon Diggs, who even though, a few years he did get a lot of targets, but even with 100, was able to do a lot with it. And Stephon Diggs was 18, 12, and 18 on Minnesota. So I'm thinking that even if he doesn't match that, he could very easily be a wide receiver 3, and people are sleeping on him a bit.
Yeah. All right. 42 is Deontay Johnson. I had him 37. You had him 47. You know, when you look at his numbers, he had really good numbers for a rookie. 59. Like, rookie receivers don't always put up huge numbers. He had 59 catches for 685 touchdowns. That's very solid, especially with the quarterbacks that were throwing the ball to him. That's where I look at that and see, to me, he's going to be well ahead of James Washington. James Washington just hasn't shown it to me quite as much. Deontay, I think, started to show it there. And so we'll see what he can do with Ben.
Here's the thing that is crazy to me, though. Because if I was looking at this earlier because I was trying to figure out how much I like Watkins. I was trying to think.
Yeah.
So obviously Watkins signs for a year to KC, and then in an interview he's talking about how he's putting all this into his head, and he can see the future, and he's gonna get more, and he really wants the ball, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, but last year, even though Pittsburgh was abysmal on the offensive side of the ball, they were on their third string quarterback. Juju went down. Connor went down. Big Ben, obviously. Look, James Washington had very similar numbers to Watkins. I mean, he had 735 yards on 3 TDs on only 44 receptions being thrown to by very inaccurate quarterbacks. Deontay Johnson looked better than him, yes, but I'm not quite ready to completely write any of these guys off. But it also clouds my judgment. Like, a lot of people are going, Deontay Johnson is the guy. I get it. You have that feeling, you go for him. But I just have no idea. I think it might be a cluster between. You might even throw, Chase Claypool in here and say, give him a go. Like, we're just going to have.
Yeah, it's just a lot of guys there.
Yeah, so it worries me in that case. That's why I don't have the same confidence in Deontay.
They still don't have a tight end, though, because the one they got is terrible. He's going to drop the ball every time. Freaking Ebron. I'm pulling out all the hits in this episode, Jeff.
Yep.
Talked about Geis, PPR, and Ebron, so we're good. Hit them all. John Brown's 43. I had him 39. You had him 45. He's not the number 1 anymore, but still think there's enough to go around for him. Brashad Perriman came in at 44. You love Brashad Perriman. I had him 53. You had him 33. Let's pull up the consensus ranks for Perriman, and currently he is 56th consensus. He is going 62nd in ADP.
Oh, my God. Okay, here's my thing with this. More than likely, he's going to be the number 1. And as much as you might hate the Jets like I do as far as their offense, I think Darnold will get a little bit better. And because of that, I mean, Robbie Anderson was very playable, right? And at times, like, even if you think they suck, there's no reason their number 1 shouldn't be in the top 40.
It seems like the consensus experts think Crowder's their number 1.
Okay.
He's ranked 39th.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could see that. Someone's going to be number 1. Even if you wanted to say Mims was going to be.
I think it could be Perriman, though.
But yeah, Perriman is definitely going to be the down the field guy. I don't know. This is a crapshoot, but if I had to guess, my guess is on Perriman. Yeah. I think he has more upside than Crowder.
Yep.
Where I feel like has no... it's just an play. So.
And then we rounded out with Mike Williams at 45. I had him 42nd, you had him 46. He has the talent, but we don't like the situation right now. No. So he might catch some touchdowns, some big plays, but that's about it. Yeah. But all right, that's wide receivers. So that's all I got for this one. We'll be back next week. We'll do one tight end episode. I'm not going to make you guys go through 20 through 40 at tight end. I won't do that to you. I don't have that much to say about, I don't know, who would even be 20, beyond 20 at this point. All the good ones are in the top 20. Maybe a Kyle Rudolph. I'm not really going to talk about him very much. So, but look for that post though on Instagram. We'll probably put that out on Monday or Tuesday of next week. We'll put our ranks out for tight end. So get your comments in there if you want us to talk about them on the show. Read your comments. You can be as harsh as you want. I'm good with that. Jeff took it. He was fine with the Jeff's ranks are poop emoji. So
that's pretty good though.
He took it. He changed his ranks because he realized he was wrong on a couple of things. So
I did not do it because of that.
All
but
right.
I do have to say, I will put this caveat. I think this year, it's going to be very interesting. With the lack of news that is coming out, I think this will be the probably the worst year for as far as trying to follow ranks of different people. It's going to be a little all over the board.
We are all over the board here.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. There's definitely not a one through line with a lot of this stuff, unless you're top 10.
Especially once you get to these like later wide receivers.
No one knows about rookies this year. No one knows about new guys on teams.
There's about 50 wide receiver 3-4s. I feel like.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. So all right, but that'll do it. Talk to you guys next week.